Hey there guys, welcome to my meat shop. I'm real excited to make this sausage because it's my personal favorite sausage. It's my number one. It is the Weisswurst, a Bavarian Weisswurst. It's emulsified sausage. It's super delicious and I'm going to show you how to do it. And thanks to BC Roger for requesting the video. I didn't think I would get this video requested, so that's super cool. Thanks for the request, guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button for more videos, and let's make some Weisswurst. Okay, so thanks again. I'm real excited to make this video because I get to eat Weisswurst at the end of this, so that's a bonus. I love this sausage. I visited Munich. It'd be 2017 with Olds College and NATE, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, and SAINT, the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology, because all three of those colleges have meat processing programs, and I got invited back as an alumni member to do a tour in Germany and Italy to make stuff like this, learn how to make stuff like this. It was one of the best trips of my life, and I discovered the Weisswurst on this trip. You never see it like I'm in Alberta, Canada. You never see it over here. It's a Bavarian breakfast sausage. So Bavaria, for those of you who don't know, is kind of the southern part of Germany. And in each part of Germany, they have different types of sausage. So it's the Weisswurst, the white sausage. It's a Bavarian breakfast sausage. So it's not supposed to be eaten afternoon. I think the reason for that is, there's a bunch of lore around this sausage that I'm not going to get probably 100% correct because I'm not a Bavarian, but I believe the story goes, or the reason you don't eat it afternoon is because it's a pretty high fat content sausage and it's served in hot water. So by lunchtime the sausages potentially burst and lose their flavor and stuff like that, so it's supposed to be eaten before noon. I can't remember if you could order it after noon, if that's still a thing they do, if that's still a tradition over there. Yeah, and when they serve it in the hot water, you never let the water boil because it's got so much fat content. It's easy to pop the casings on these. And you actually don't eat the casing. I'll show you guys at the end. You peel the casing off and you're supposed to dip it in this traditional sweet mustard and eat it with pretzels and wheat beer for breakfast. I couldn't get a water for probably like 2 days over in Germany. I remember it. I was so thirsty, but it was wheat beer or nothing. Yeah, so what the Weisswurst is usually made out of, and it was invented some long time ago by, I believe by a chef or a butcher over there, a Fleischmeister, I think they're called. And there's a bunch of lore and stories around this sausage, but I think he had only a bunch of guests to feed in the morning, and his apprentice wasn't there or something like that, and he put all this into his bowl cutter. We're going to make an emulsification of this, and served it, and it's been a hit ever since or something like that. So it can be made out of straight pork. Right now I got some pork shoulder, some lean pork, and I have some straight pork back fat, and that's what I'm going to make mine out of today. So it's usually pork or a pork veal combination. I've never seen this made with beef. So it's pork or pork and veal. You want to have, I believe it's 31% fat is what you're shooting for. And since it's emulsification, we're going to have 20% water instead of 10% is what I usually use. I'm going to use a bowl cutter. I don't expect many or any of you guys to have bowl cutters, but when I go to that step, you can replace it with a food processor and use it in smaller batches, or just really, really thoroughly mix it up, or run it through your grinder a couple times to get the particles, texture, or the meat as small as possible. Because it's supposed to be an emulsified sausage. So that's a little bit of lore behind the Weisswurst. It's super delicious, and these are the ingredients that are in it. Now, I've done, because I wanted to replicate the Bavarian Weisswurst, I've done a bit of research, and there's a little bit of variation in the recipes, but the main ingredients in a Weisswurst is salt, white pepper, mace, parsley, lemon zest, and water. I've seen different variations from there, but what I've come to use in mine is salt, white pepper, a little bit of ginger, mace, fresh chopped parsley. You don't want to use parsley flakes. Parsley flakes suck. They taste like nothing. Don't use those. Grated lemons. We're going to take the zest off this lemon. Water, and you don't need a binder, but I'm going to use a binder because it's easier to keep everything together. You'll see when I get to use the bowl cutter. So some of those things that maybe you don't see in every single Weisswurst recipe is the onion powder or ground ginger, but sometimes you do see them. Sometimes you see fresh onions instead of onion powder. So if you want to make a Weisswurst, salt, white pepper, mace, parsley, lemon zest. So what I got, and we're gonna stuff it into 29 32 millimeter casings and poach it in never boiling water, simmering water for till the internal temperature hits 71 degrees Celsius. So it's gonna be half hour, 45 minutes. Don't let it get too hot though. All right, so I got this nice lean pork picnic, which has 15% fat. Then I got this nice pork back fat here. And I have another 200 grams. This is gonna be a 2 kilogram batch altogether. So I had 15% fat in this pork picnic. And then I add 200 grams, I think it was 200 grams of pork back fat to bring it up to, if I can get it out of here, that's an excellent backpacker I have. To bring it up to 30% fat, pretty close to 30% fat. Okay, so now usually I add the spices and mix it up, but we're gonna do that in the bowl cutter. I just have to get a couple more of them prepped. So I got my grater and lemon. I'm gonna grate, oh, I didn't give you guys the ratios. So salt, 18 grams per kilogram, white pepper, 3 grams, ginger, half a gram per kilogram, mace, 1 gram per kilogram, fresh chopped parsley, 10 grams per kilogram, onion powder, 6 grams per kilogram, grated lemon, 2 grams per kilogram. And I've also seen people use milk or cream instead of water. So that's an option for you if you want it even richer. 200 milliliters, sorry, 200 milliliters or grams. I'm gonna use ice today, so it's good to go in grams of milliliters and grams are interchangeable with water of ice. So I'll get that parsley ready. Here's my little spice mixture I mixed up ahead of time to save us some time. That smells good. Oh man, I can't wait to make these, eat these, I mean. All right, so I'm just gonna get that weighed out and then I'll pop over to the bowl chopper and I'll show you how to mix it when I got them done. Okay there guys, just to show you real quick in case you've never done this before, I guess, you just take the lemon on your grater on the medium side and you just grate off some of that zest until you got, you know, until you got something like this, that little bit of lemon zest. So you don't need very much, 4 grams. One lemon's gonna do you for this 2 kilogram batch. And then, save that. While I'm doing the parsley, I don't like to throw in the big stems because you can kind of get them in the end. So I try to just get the leaves if I can. Try and avoid the big stems. So I got that measured out here, and I'm not going to add it to there just yet. I'm going to add in a little bit later when I add the ice in during the mixing process. But I was thinking, if you guys don't have a food processor, add some really cold water to this and then run it through the grinder and run it through the grinder again, mix it up until it gets into a very kind of fine paste. The textures all start to blend together. So if you don't have the bowl cutter, that's what I would suggest. Run it through the grinder a couple times. I'm just gonna mix these spices up by hand just a little bit, then we're gonna fire up the bowl cutter. Okay guys, so this is the bowl cutter. It's gonna be really loud, so I'm just gonna give you a little intro to it before I start the process. So this bowl here it's kind of like the hopper. The meat's gonna go in here and it's gonna spin around. And as it spins around, it's gonna make contact with these blades, which get real close to the bowl there, and slice it into a fine paste. Now, the key is to get a really good emulsification is you gotta chop it until the temperature actually comes up. I'm gonna chop these till they're about 10 degrees Celsius, and then I'm gonna add ice, which is gonna chill them back down again, and I'm gonna allow them to continue to chop until it comes back up to 11. And that's gonna get us a really nice emulsification, and the bind's not gonna break. If it gets too hot, the fat and the moisture, the extra moisture is not gonna hold. So I'll throw that meat in there, get this guy fired up, and then add the ice, add the parsley, add the lemon. So here's the pork and the fat mixture going into the bowl cutter.
Okay guys, so that's obviously pretty loud, and if it's not self-evident, you want to keep your fingers out of the bowl so that you don't drop anything in there. And those blades are moving at a super high velocity, so you want to keep your hands clear. You don't want to drop any knives or anything like that in there. And we're going to let that chop that pork and fat up until it gets into a nice fine paste, or up to that 11 degrees Celsius. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to help spread the spices out. So as you guys can see, it's starting to blend the textures together. The little bits of fat are starting to get smaller and smaller, and it should be a nice pink paste by the time we're done. That's what we're shooting for.
Okay, so I got a little bit warm here, guys. I'm going to add that ice, bring that temperature down, and continue mixing.
Okay guys, so I just checked it there, and it's getting right up close to 11 degrees Celsius again. So now I'm going to add that parsley and lemon, and this will be the final couple revolutions until then we'll be ready to stuff. All right, so that's looking pretty good there for me. I'm pretty happy with that. The parsley's chopped up into smaller bits. So I'm just gonna pull it out now and we'll stuff it, then poach it.
Oh boy, that sucker's loud. But there you guys go. See how that's doesn't look like a ground pork mixture anymore? It looks like a paste, like a meat pudding. That's what you're shooting for. That's the right texture for a Weisswurst. So we'll get that into the stuffer and then we'll poach and eat them. All right guys, so I pulled all that Weisswurst out of that super loud bowl cutter, otherwise known as a buffalo chopper, otherwise known as a silent cutter. And we added it into there, let it chop for a bit till it got up to about 11 or 12. Then I added ice, let it chop a little bit more till it got back up to 11 or 12. And then added that parsley and lemon zest and let that bowl chopper chop it up for us. Now I'm just gonna load up the natural 29, 32 millimeter casings with water. If you guys have seen me do this before, I'm sure you have if you've seen any other videos. Put that in the casing, let it flush itself out as you're pulling it onto the horn. I pre-flush these casings so you can run water through them a couple times. These 29, 32 millimeter hog natural casings I've had soaking in water for about a half hour to an hour before I started this here. And we'll just stuff and link these real quick for you guys and then we'll poach them. Leave a little tail there for the end. I packed it in there real good so there shouldn't be any air pockets. Just let the first little bit come out here and oh boy, look at that nice bright pink sausage. You can see the little bits of parsley. Oh man, I can't wait for lunch. All right, a little bit of air building up on the horn. So you can do when air's building up on the horn, guys, you just take your thumb and mark it. So there's a little pinhole and let the air work its way out of the sausage casing, or use the back of a knife on your horn. Oh yeah, there they are guys. The Weisswursts. And these guys get linked the same way all the other sausages get linked. Actually, I think traditionally in Germany or Bavaria where these guys are made, they're supposed to be 80 grams, I think it is. And so let's make them traditional. They're pretty small little guys. So you just, like so, 3 or so inches. 1, 2, 3. And do every other one. 1, 2, 3. Just little guys, yeah? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh man. You can smell the mace and the onion and zest. This is the perfect combination of spices. 2, 3. Boom. So there we go, guys. There's the Bavarian breakfast sausages linked up. I'll bring them in so you guys can see the little bits of parsley, and that you can see the texture's fine. Like you can't see any specks of fat in that. If I get it to focus for you guys, maybe it'd be. There you go. See, it's just a nice pink sausage. Can't really see any specks of fat or specks of lean meat. That's what you're shooting for in a Weisswurst. Now the next step for these is to poach them in simmering water till that internal temperature hits 71. I'm gonna do that next, and then I'm gonna eat these in front of you. I'm so sorry. You have to make yourself some. All right guys, it's time to poach the Weisswursts. I got the hot water steaming away. It is, and like I said, you don't want to boil them. It's at 70 degrees Celsius, so that's 157 Fahrenheit. That's good to get them started. The temperature's going to come up. Now I put a little bit of salt in the water before I started boiling it, because you don't want that salt's going to leave the sausage into the water if that water's not salted already. So it just kind of creates a kind of equilibrium for it. And I got that up at 71 degrees Celsius, 155 to 160 Fahrenheit, and we'll just pop these Weisswursts in. So you guys have a little look in there. Look at those guys. And now I'm just gonna put a set of tongs on top of them. Oh, they're turning white to that Bavarian white breakfast sausage already. Yum. But I'm just gonna put a set of tongs on top of them, guys, just to weigh them down and make sure that they remain submerged. You don't want ones on top not getting cooked and ones underneath getting cooked, because then you'll run into some issues of raw sausages and sausages bursting. So I just pin them down with a set of tongs in the water. So I'm gonna need 2 sets. But that's what I do, guys, and I'll come in, check them every so often. Pretty frequently. You kind of want to babysit these so you don't end up bursting those sausage casings. All right, guys, so they are finished. They're at 165, just a little more high than they need to be, which is okay though. Just wanted to get them to at least 160 there. Just gonna cool my tongs off so I can use them. They're in that warm water there. So now normally you eat them that same day. Like, they don't make Weisswursts to store and to sell. It's like I said at the beginning of the video, it's supposed to be eaten before noon. I wonder how many of you are thinking, oh, I wonder if he's gonna drop some. The answer to that is no, I'm not. Did you see that? That was good. But yeah, so normally if I was doing something else, I would drop these into a water bath. If I was doing bratwursts, drop them into a water bath, cool them down right away, which I'm gonna do with the rest of these in here. But we're gonna eat 2. I'll show you that. I'm just gonna get, so this is how they look when they're done, guys. That nice white Bavarian sausage. There's the 2 there, steamed up. But I'm just gonna give those other guys, get them running under some cold water to cool them down, and I'll come back and I'll give you a cross section of the Weisswurst. Okay, so I just got those other guys running under cold water to cool them down, stop that cooking process. But like I said, I think traditionally you would make enough to eat that day. You don't make more than that. But here they are, nice white Bavarian breakfast sausages. They usually get served in 2. I really regret not having the Handelmeyer's sweet mustard that these are supposed to be served with, and beer, wheat beer and pretzels. But well, they just take them, find the end, and you just peel that casing off. Oops, getting a bit too much here, but break it off. Oh man, a little mustard, little beer, it'd be perfect. That is delicious. So guys, I hope you like the Weisswurst video. A little bit of a different one. Like I said, if you guys don't have a grinder or a bowl cutter, you don't really need it. You could just grind this up and you run it through your grinder a couple times. Look at that kind of the texture difference there. That's what an emulsion is. That paste. My goodness, I gotta eat these guys. Hit that like button and subscribe for more. Take care.